Do you need encouragement to turn tragedies into your own triumphant life story? If so, this podcast is for you. Listen to powerful guests who have persevered through challenges so you can gain strength to build your championship life. The host of Professor of Perseverance podcast, Dr. James Perdue.
Yeah, hey, come on in. It's time for us to get some inspiration, motivation, grab a gold nugget out of this interview. Something you can use that when you're going through your hardship difficulties, that you can use that to get through with. And like I said all the time, share that with someone else. Pay it forward. Don't hold this forever and a day. Give it away. Help someone else. All right. What's I was saying? Help me help you by helping me help you. All right. Help them by helping you. Okay. All right. Today, we're going to talk to a guy who's his personal story of perseverance. And let me tell you before we get started, because he got in his notes, perseverance. Here we go. Give him a big fist bump for perseverance. All right. And he said perseverance from being diagnosed with MS and adapting to life in a wheelchair, and continuing his career as an underground rapper. He's a clothing designer and entrepreneur. All right. Welcome. Well, before we go to the show, I want to throw in, before we get started, our 60 seconds of mojo. All right, hang in for the 60 seconds of less of mojo. The lessons you gain at rock bottom are the very strength that mountaintops can't teach. When you rise from the ground up, every step builds your foundation. So when you finally reach the summit, all that's left is gratitude and the joy of the view. So hang in there, what they say in the South, hanging like a hair in a biscuit. And move on in life and do the best you can. All right, welcome to the show. Get him up here. B-Cide.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad you're here and everything like that.
That's good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like your shirt there, your sweater.
Thank you.
It reminds me. I'm not sure exactly what that all is and everything. I'm too old and everything, but reminds me of the old Joker on old Batman stuff with the old question mark.
I could see that. Yeah. You talking about like the TV show Batman? Like that? Yeah. That's like the best Batman.
Yeah, I love the old ones back in the 60s.
Yeah. Adam West.
That's it. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So he could have took on that persona like I guess the rest of his life. He'd wear the mask out in public, and yeah, he did. Him and old dude that played the Lone Ranger. He kept his mask and pretty much just played that the rest of his life out in public and everything. So
that's great.
Hey, B-Cide, appreciate you being here again. And let's get you a story and everything like that. Again, MS. And yeah, you go ahead and start us, put us in where we belong and where we need to start from.
Sure. Well, let's see. I'll take you back. I started rapping about like 1998, back when I was in high school. I went to a Catholic school, so I'm not like a public school kid, like all that kind of like gangster and all that other stuff, kind of like a quiet Catholic school boy, So there was like one of these friends of mine that ended up being on the school bus with us. He had a rap group that was like doing like joke type stuff. Like they would listen to Howard Stern back in the day. And
back in the day, Howard. Yes.
Yeah. And just kind of like be goofy about stuff. And then they had me come into it, and I started doing like goofy stuff with them and starting to like, hone my craft, if you really want to call it that. And, after high school ended, we kind of all like went our separate ways and stuff. But I kind of stayed with the music thing. Like I was managing a heavy metal band, getting them shows around like where we are and stuff. So that was cool. But I was also focusing on my own music. And it's kind of funny because I used to go by Bob C. which is very original, you know.
Uh-huh.
So because my name's Bob Cardillo, so that's how we got that.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so one day, me and my friends were sitting down, and this was from my old rap group. My friend Nate, he was sitting down. He goes, "You should call yourself B-Cide." I'm like, "Really? That's cool." And I'm like, "But I'm going to spell it like homicide because I murder people on the mic."
There you go.
So
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and that kind of stuck, you know. And then I started working on like a solo album back then. I came out with my first solo album in 2003. So that's really when I count, like when I really started and really started pushing. Have you ever heard of the Insane Clown Posse, the
No, I
rap
can say
group?
I haven't.
No, okay. Well, they're a rap group in the underground. They have their own style of music. It's kind of like Wicked. It's kind of like
Uh-huh.
horror kind of stuff, and that's the genre that I'm in. We rap about everything from love to murder,
There you
and
go.
that's kind of how, kind of life, I guess.
Because blind
And
love can lead to murder, right?
right.
How many people, that's a big number, that people are locked up in prison, and it reflects back to love somehow. You
Yeah.
know, women, men, just whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, love can do a strange thing. That's for sure.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So yeah, that's the genre that I'm kind of in,
Yeah.
and I've been doing it for about 20 years. And what happened is, I in 2011, I had just come off the road with this group that used to be signed with the Insane Clown Posse back in the 90s, and we ended up going on the road on tour. So I was like all around as far out as California. I'm in New York. So we did that. I came back home. I had this injury, like this left arm right here. It had been going numb for, I don't know, years. And I just
Uh-huh.
thought it was a pinched nerve.
Yeah.
And I end up going to a chiropractor. I'm like, I need to get this nerve worked out, whatever. Never really saw a doctor. I didn't have health insurance. So it wasn't really something that I really thought about.
Yeah.
And go to the chiropractor. Nothing ever ends up happening with it. It just ends up staying the same. Well, I end up getting home from the road, and then other things just started going numb. And I am not thinking anything of it. I'm thinking it's this nerve. I'm thinking
Yeah.
there's a pinched nerve. And then we're doing stuff. Then I get diagnosed with pulmonary embolism, a blood
Uh-huh.
clot in your
Yeah.
lungs. And I was in the hospital for probably like 11 days. And after I got out, I started like having trouble walking. Like, and I thought it was because I was in a hospital bed for like
And
11
weak.
days or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the physical therapist told me, "Oh, you need to work it out, this and that." So I'm like, "All right." I'm trying to go on walks and stuff like that. I'm like, I got to work it out. So my mouth goes numb. I go to the emergency room. I'm like, I think maybe I'm allergic to something. And, I'm just like so crazy about this. Like, I'm not getting to the problem. Nobody's getting to this problem. And then finally, I go to a neurologist locally, and they give me an MRI, and then they tell me you have multiple sclerosis.
Mm.
Now, they told me I had it, but they didn't explain what it was.
What EMS was.
Yeah, they didn't explain anything. This doctor says to me, "Oh, you take this shot and you'll be fine." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's great. I'll be able to continue on with my life and
Yeah.
not have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
worry about anything." And I take the shot, and I'm noticing that I'm just like failing more and more. And my father actually had stepped in, and he's like, my friend Charlie Constantino has part of a hospital wing named after his family in Rochester, New York, which is about 2 hours from me. So he goes, "They have a world-renowned MS center. We need to get you hooked up with these people." So I end up getting hooked up with these doctors in Rochester, and they do the same tests on me. tell me, you're on the wrong medicine. You got to get on this other medicine and stuff like that. And since I've met the doctors out there, I've kind of stayed the same. Like nothing's really gotten worse, except I ended up screwing myself up when I had gotten, I was with my fiance for like 10 years. And then we ended up getting, we were fighting and stuff like that towards the end of the relationship.
Yeah.
And then she had taken her ring off. She's like, I took my ring off for a week. You didn't even notice it. I'm like, whatever. And then she's like, I can't deal with like all the MS and all this other stuff. So I'm like, all right, so she called it off, and I end up leaving, and I end up staying with my mother. Now at that time I'm walking, but with a walker. And that was probably about like 5 years ago. And I end up going to my mom's house, and we end up getting this lift chair. So I was sitting in this lift chair, being able to get up, stand up, go pee, and things of that nature. And then this damn lift chair breaks. And when you know it, it's broken for about a month. And I end up not being able to walk because this thing has just completely crapped out. And I was like, I started using the wheelchair that I had, because sometimes I would use a wheelchair because of, how my body felt because of the MS. But that's why I'm pretty much in the wheelchair the way that I am right now. And I need 24-hour care because, like my upper body and getting in and out of bed, I can't do stuff like that anymore. Yeah. And then I just wrote this book, Mile in My Shoes, that's about the whole MS situation and everything that I did. There's the cover, and I spelled it Myelin, myelin. That is what's around your nerves. It's the coating around your nerves that the MS actually eats away at.
That's myelin sheets.
Yeah, myelin sheath.
Yeah. That's around there. Yeah, that this disease or whatnot, eats that coating off your nerve, and then now it can't perform like it should. So I like the shoe with the nerves branching off through there.
Yeah, thank you.
I taught science for a while, so.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Taught 7th grade science for a while.
Oh.
And we teach my students about my spinal cord injury, and then talk about other people with MS. I get that friend I mentioned of you to her, and talk about them and talk about the myelin sheet and stuff like that. And I actually had a student that was she had a very mild case of MS at that time, and she had mentioned about the myelin sheets to her fellow students. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's pretty crazy to learn about stuff like that. Like when you have like a good doctor, they did the same tests in Rochester that they did in Utica. And the tests, if you looked at these things, seeing an MRI from Rochester was like an HD TV. And seeing one from Utica is like a 1950 black and white TV.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
That newer technology is awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, I remember a few years ago they thought I had colon cancer, and so they told me I needed to pick up the images before I had to go see the surgeon. And so picked it up a day or two beforehand. I was going, this is on a DVD.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get on this DVD and put it in there and play. Let me see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Nah, it didn't work. They got their own
their own system
program.
Yeah.
And I'm on the internet trying to find a system that would let me open it. And no, the hospital got their own thing, wouldn't let me in. But the guy, he let me look at everything, and then he showed me where he thought the problem was. And I said, hey, can I have a picture of that? And so he printed off a picture for me, but I thought I was doing something, putting it in a DVD player or in my computer, and it didn't work.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought, because I actually got a DVD with my MRI on it, and it worked. I put it in my computer and it worked.
Well,
so I'm assuming
I'm assuming they let you see whatever you,
Yeah.
they like I said, they could have fixed that for me to see it, but I guess they would give, they would go, you wouldn't know what you're looking at anyway. And of course,
Right.
when I was going through it with him, I was going, yeah, I'd have never figured that out.
Right. Right.
So, all right. So yeah, this technology is great. It's going to be special today. And I think, and I know technology is going to change. It's going to get better, but I think a lot of this stem cell stuff is going to be a big beneficial for a lot of us.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's going to be something once they actually master it,
Yeah. I may not be here around for it, but
Right,
I
right.
believe, I believe, I believe it's going to be part of the future. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like I actually have a friend that has MS and he got the stem cell treatment. And I guess he said it's going well for him. But see, then
okay.
I've read stuff where like side effects of it are cancer, like 10 years down the road.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if I would do that with the potential chance of having cancer. I'd rather wait till they perfect it
Yeah.
and do like you said, I'm probably not even going to be around when they figure out all this technology.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff.
Well,
There's so much
you're
stuff.
more newly into yours. You talking about 5, 6, 7 years now?
2011 I got diagnosed with MS.
2011. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I've
more than
been in the
10 years.
chair. Yeah, been in the
Okay,
chair
14
for about
years.
5 years. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. There's where I got to 5 years.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
chair for 5, but diagnosed for about 14 years now.
Yeah.
But you're still a baby compared to me. I've been in my wheelchair for my spinal injury for 42 years now.
Oh wow. Yep.
40.
And I'm 42.
So
So
you were born
yeah.
in '83. That's when I had my
Yes.
injury in '83.
Yes.
And
83.
actually, next month will be my anniversary
Oh,
thing. So at the very beginning, I told people I would be the guinea pig to help find research, to help find a
yeah.
cure. But I see what you just said a minute ago. Now that I've been at it so long, I don't know if I'd be that guinea pig to take a chance on getting cancer or something.
Right.
I've gone this
Right.
long. No, I'd rather play my life out the way it should than be the
Yeah.
guinea pig now and then could shorten my life. I may improve it, but then it may shorten it.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, so it just like it. Yeah, at the very beginning, I would be the guinea pig, and then after I got better and better and did more things, more than I ever thought I would, and now I'm in it. I don't think I would do that.
Right.
So, all right, but you're able to still continue on with your rapping.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually didn't let it stop me because like I always use rap like therapy pretty
There
much.
you go.
Like whenever I had like some bad day or whatever, I'd write down whatever I wanted to write down about stuff, and it just helps so much, even if it doesn't have anything necessarily personal to do with something,
Yeah,
just to be able to write stuff down. And like now I guess in my phone to be able to write stuff down and and have stuff like that, it's pretty crazy. And then like I see my catalog sometimes, like, and how much stuff I've done sometimes, and I'm like, wow,
yeah,
I've been doing it for a long time, since since 2003 my first album came out. So I mean, like, I've seen the whole change from the music industry, from the CD to now digital, and
yeah.
nobody gets paid anymore. It's just, it's just a different type of thing. People are doing shows. The money's all in shows, and unfortunately, I can't do shows.
We need to get a show where you can do it from your computer.
From the
So
computer,
a
right?
lot of people now, because I got into the speaking business, and I'm like you now. In my wheelchair, and I'm older, and it's harder for me to do all that traveling and everything. But a bunch of people have done their speaking gig, especially when COVID hit,
Yeah,
doing it from home.
yeah.
So
Well,
what we need to do is figure out a way promote you, and then people pay, I don't know, at the beginning $10 to come
yeah,
in for a 2-hour rap or a 1
yep,
hour rap,
yep. You got it.
concert or something. and just
Yeah.
$10 just to get them interest. Then you can raise the price later,
Yeah.
just to get them interest. But let them. I mean, people do workshops online. Why not have a concert online?
Right.
So maybe it's something they could explore. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something to explore. Now, what do you think about when COVID hit? Do you think it helped make things more accessible for people like us with the computer and being able to talk to a doctor maybe through the computer instead of having to go to the doctor?
depends
Or
on your doctor, I guess, because my doctor doesn't do it on the computer with me.
okay,
I have to still go in.
you still have to go in.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got and again, that's the maybe I don't want to down my doctor, but the better technician, better.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, but you're right. Um, I got bit by a brown recluse on the bottom of my foot, a
Ooh.
spider, and I didn't know it till there's the
Mm,
size of a tennis ball blister on my foot, and it finally
mm.
busted, and it was all black from that dead tissue where that spider
Wow.
poison was in there. And so
Yeah.
I was still teaching then. So I went in to go teach that morning. My planning came up, so I called my other doctor. He retired, had been my first doctor for 45 years, and he retired 3 years ago. And so now I'm
Mm.
having to break this new one in. And so
Oh.
yeah. So I remember calling him and saying, told him what happened, everything. He said, well, you need to come on in here. We need to look at that. I said, can I just take a picture of it and send it to you? He said, no, you need to come on in. And I mean, I can expect that from a doctor being at it 40 plus years.
Yeah.
But today's doctor, they can say, well, yeah, let me see that,
Right.
and send a text to him, an image,
Right.
and then we can discuss, what needs to go. And they ended up having, when I went in that day, I mean, I had to leave school to go, to get in. He said, you
Yeah.
need to be in now. And they sure enough got me in surgery that afternoon and
Wow.
cut all that out and everything, get all that
That's
poison
crazy.
off and all that dead tissue. But yeah, I guess it depends on your doctor. I think a lot of them nowadays should do more of it on here. I mean,
Yeah.
if I just got a cold or flu, I don't need to come
Right.
in. Let me
Right.
talk to you from here. Uh,
Exactly.
for me, being a spinal cord injury, if I got a UTI, I can explain to him what the symptoms
Right.
are, take in a urine sample, you
Right.
can prescribe the medication. I think
Right.
they should be more utilized. I don't think they do it as much
They
as they
should.
should.
They
Yeah.
should, like, actually where I go in Rochester, New York,
Yeah.
we tested out the Zoom calls
Yeah.
before COVID even hit. We were testing out their system to
Yeah.
see how it would work. And I've been seeing my doctor now for about 5 years through the computer. And that's how I've been doing it because I can't make it 2 hours to Rochester.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I get my MRIs locally because they have the right machines now.
And
And
the information to
yeah,
them.
and then they just give the information to them, and that's how I do it. And I even see I see my like a reverend, like a chaplain from the
Uh-huh.
University of Rochester, and I talk to her and stuff like that instead of like a psychiatrist or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So like I'll talk to her through Zoom, and
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy, that
Yeah. I
it's
think
kind of opened up.
these professions can do a lot more with this and still get their money.
Yes,
So, I mean, they went 2 years. The kids were staying at home,
I know.
and these kids weren't learning anything.
No, it's
The,
sad.
the teachers are doing their thing, and
Yeah.
they're over here looking over here and looking over there, and
Yep.
they're worried about playing a game on a computer. And I guarantee you, these kids know enough; they could put up their Zoom and be over here playing a game on
You're
the other
right.
side of the monitor and not
Yeah.
pay a lick of attention to them. They just
Yep.
listen for their name, you know,
Yep.
and then ask the question. I don't know. So
Exactly.
they're smart enough; they would figure that out. So, but
Yeah.
if they can use that for teaching, they can do it probably with a lot of things to
Yeah.
save a lot of time for everybody. So,
Right. Right.
so and you just mentioned another example of need to work on doing a concert from home. I mean, you get a background that looks, concert, looks like
Yeah.
a band behind you, get all. But you just mentioned it. How many church services are online now?
I guess you're right. There are a lot of church
A
services
lot
that
of
are
church.
online.
Friend of mine, sorry to say, but her husband passed away a few weeks ago, and they had his funeral service online for the people that couldn't.
Online.
Well, I say that the preacher that I went to church with, and he's been dead now 15 years, 12 years, and they sure enough had his funeral thing on the internet. I watched it from home because
Really?
I knew the whole place was going to be packed. And that
Yeah.
was
Wow.
12 years ago.
Wow.
And so, you need to work on somehow promoting and doing again, the first time you only get 5 people, at least it
Yeah.
gives you a way to work out some kinks,
Yeah.
work out some
Exactly. No, you're
issues,
right. You're
and
right.
and then word of mouth, and then maybe you can get it bigger the next time, and then even bigger.
You're
So,
right. You're right. Because actually, I'm actually working on an album right now
yeah.
just about multiple sclerosis. And I'm coming out with it.
Oh,
I'm coming
you,
out with it.
yeah, and you need to get your multiple sclerosis organizer
Yeah,
association and have them back you.
I know.
Have them back it, and they'll send it out to all of their MS people to
I
watch.
know.
And
I
then
know.
for them, you can, I don't know, charge $3 just to
Right.
get a start,
Right.
to get them on and to watch it. So,
Right.
yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah. You doing it? See, MS, if it's just MS only,
Yeah.
album, you
Yep.
need to get them to help sponsor and help get everything, get the
Yep.
word of mouth out for you. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's like it's a first of its kind. I don't think anybody's ever made a rap album about
yeah.
MS.
Well, I'm sure.
And
I'm sure of that.
yeah,
So,
and I'm exploring like a little different things, and it's like I'm not cursing on it. I'm making it like for everybody. And
that way your Catholic
yeah,
teachers can come in and listen.
I know. And then I'm gonna come out with it in March, and that's Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. So I'm gonna come out with it in March.
You need to start promoting it, talking with these MS organizations. Again, they put in their newsletter emails
Yep.
to everybody. Hey, B-Cide is going to have this, and then already have your date planned.
Yep.
And have it Zoom, and then being MS. I mean, I know people's got money, but I would make it like $3 just to come in, just to see test the waters.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I wouldn't make it so outrageous. I would want to try to get them there, and then build. Like I said, you're going to have kinks, mess ups,
right?
But that's something to build on.
Yeah.
I'm excited. You ever do this, man? Be sure to send me everything.
So I will.
I would definitely send you $3.
I will. Thank you.
And listen. So and go from there. All right, man. This has been awesome right here. We've been talking more about planning than about. One thing I want to mention about you talking about you lost your strength when that machine broke, and not being able to stand and move, then lost that other strength. Yeah, I understand that one too. Yeah. So and I mentioned this before we got started on this, that and I mentioned again just last guy I interviewed. He's a quadriplegic, but I told him that I would prefer my injury happen like it did, where I lose everything all at once.
Okay.
And with MS or ALS, and other muscular dystrophy, where you're slowly losing things. You're walking nice and normal one day, and next thing one day you're dragging your left foot because it's not picking up correctly, and then you're not being able to pick up a fork in 3 months from then. I would get frustrated as hell.
Yeah, like I never had problems with silverware until recently, like picking up spoons and stuff. Like it's such a pain. I'm like, wow, that's so crazy that it's just like, like I didn't think that like my dexterity or anything would change. And it's just little things like trying to hold the spoon, but it must just be too heavy. And I'm just like, wow, that's weird.
Well, and those myelin sheets, I guess, are getting thinner. And not letting you think to control the hold,
Right.
and it's getting thinner, I guess.
Right.
That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird because like the medicine that I'm on, they say once you're on it, the progression has stopped. So it
Okay.
shouldn't be progressing anymore. So I'm like as bad as I'm gonna get right now.
All right. Well, that's some good
Yeah,
hope there. That's
that's
some
the
good
whole,
hope to
yeah,
know
that's good.
for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not going to get any worse.
right.
So
And maybe in time there'll be a time when I can say I had MS, you know.
yeah, oh, exactly. If we're in this game long enough,
Yeah.
and they finally come up with something that cure, that you can sit there and go, I once was,
Yep.
and now look. So yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
that's this question here. I know this is a stupid question, but did you ever go through a down phase, depression phase? Um,
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
I'm sure you did, but I just
Not a
want to ask
stupid
that
question.
for the other people that are
Yeah.
listening. They're probably wondering, because right now you sound as positive as you can be, and
Yeah.
you're wanting to help people, and so there's a time that you're finally going, the hell is it? Why is this happening to me?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I would say probably like a few years after I got it. Like I was saying, I was with my fiance. We were together for like 10 years. The living situation with her, I was with her parents and stuff, and it just was not good.
Yeah,
And it was really bad mentally for me. And it just kind of really put me in a bad funk.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was, and it didn't matter. Like I was on antidepressants, but that didn't do anything. I wasn't like suicidal or anything, but it was just horrible. I just kept thinking about not being able to do what I used to be able to do, and it just would like keep on me and everything.
Well,
And
not only that,
yeah,
thinking about what you lost, now you're thinking about what am I going to be able to do in life?
right,
You know,
right,
that. So,
right.
but
That
the
is.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say that is definitely a thought that goes through
Yeah,
your head.
yeah. When I first got hurt, I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do laying back? Because I remember long before my injury, I met a guy. He used to go visit my grandfather in the nursing home. And
Oh,
one day I went to go visit. I was like 12, 13 years old, 11 years old, going to visit him. And one day I go up, and about two doors down before I get to my grandfather, one guy stopped at me and hollered at me and wanted me to come in. So I go in his room. He said, "Hey, can you hold that glass of water for me and put that straw in my mouth?" And the guy was totally paralyzed from his neck down. And his name
mm,
was JT. And
mm,
he got his neck broke in a car accident
oh,
in his early 30s, and he's in a nursing home then. And so when I got hurt, I thought of JT and thinking
oh,
I'm going to be in a nursing home at the age of 19 is what I
yeah,
thought.
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's tough.
isn't it amazing that and this is not because of what we got going on. It's a natural occurrence. We go to the negative from what could happen before we think of the positive of what's
Positive.
in the future. And
Yes.
that's not even thinking about your situation, my situation. We're just going down the road and get a flat tire, and all of a sudden we're going, oh great, now we got to get out and get out wet outside.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking, man, that flat tire may have stopped me from getting hit by another
Yeah.
car 30 minutes from now, thinking of the
Yeah.
positive. But we go straight to the
Yeah.
negatives.
We
So,
do. We do. I think we do as human beings.
yeah. Hey, and I'm telling you right now, B-Cide, that when we finally figure out, and it takes it a long time, and when we think we got it figured out, we may not have it. Everything may change again. But when we think we have something figured out, and we know that we're still benefiting life, we're still helping in life, there's something we can still do that's going to help someone else, that gives us that big boost of energy to want to keep on.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier about your music used as a form of therapy.
Yeah, I do.
I got into coaching because I used to play baseball. So I got into coaching as my form of therapy. Even though
Oh,
I couldn't
nice.
play, even though I couldn't play the sport, I can at least teach somebody else how to play. And so
Okay.
I did that as well.
That's very nice. That's cool.
So all right, B-Cide, man, everything's going smooth. Anything else you want to go on and tell us? Anything?
No, I got the book that came out. I'm
That
trying
book
to
back up
promote
here.
the book, have people check out my story, and there's actually a soundtrack that goes along with it too. I
Okay.
talked about these songs in the book, and it just so happened that I talked about these particular songs, and I actually put together like a little compilation soundtrack of like songs of mine that I talked about in the book, and then came out with a soundtrack, and it's on Spotify. And I'm on Spotify and Apple Music, all the digital places. All you got to do is search B-Cide, and I come up. So
B-Cide. I got a
yeah.
friend that he's met him over a month ago. He's homeless, but he's wanting to be. Well, I guess he is a Christian rap singer,
Oh,
and he goes by Top Choice.
okay.
Top Choice, and he's a Christian rapper, and he's on Spotify and other stuff as
Oh,
well.
really?
Hey,
That's
Top
cool.
Choice, if you're listening, man, I know you're not, but if you ever get in listening, I done promoted you, buddy. So,
Yeah.
all right, B-Cide. Well, I appreciate you being here, man.
I
You
appreciate
want
you
to
for having me.
tell anything else about how people can find you if they wanted to?
Yeah. If you want to find me, if you want to check out anything that I'm doing, all you got to do is go to b-cide.com. And that's where you can find anything. My music, the book, all my social media, everything.
And I'll put that in the show notes to make it easier for people to find as well.
Awesome.
Do the old Googling, B-Cide, C-I-D-E. Do the old Googling, and that'll take you where you need to go.
You got it.
B-Cide, man, I'm glad we got to meet, man. You've lifted me up today spiritually with your positivity. And I'm not kidding. If you get something going on with this little concert in March, let me know.
I will.
We can actually let me know. We'll come back on and promote it here as much as we can with it
Okay.
to help you. And if anything we can do, just let us know.
That's dope. Thank you.
And definitely, if you get it going on, I know 3 or 4 or 5 other podcasters do like I do, and get you on their show to
Cool.
hopefully they can push you out as well to
Cool.
get other people listening on it.
Cool.
So
Very
be
cool.
sure to let me know.
I will. I'm definitely going to keep you updated.
All right, B-Cide.
Yeah.
Here's your opportunity to show out. We know the people are hurting and struggling today. If you can leave us with a positive message, man, it's going to be a blessing.
All right. I got a positive message for you. It's a rap. I got it in my phone, so I'm just going to read it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, life throws punches. I still stand tall. Every stumble ain't the end. It's a lesson, that's all. From the struggle to the shine, I keep moving ahead. Turn the pain into power. Let me fuel instead. Hope in my chest, fire in my stride. Faith in the process, I'm enjoying the ride. Storms come heavy, but I never collapse. I'm the proof that perseverance always fights back.
Yeah, we're talking. I got to give you that fist bump again. All right, man. Good job. I like that. Yeah, we'll definitely copy that, put it at the very beginning. People will hear that little rap before we even know what's going on. So
Nice.
I could tell that you've been rapping for a while, and I love your voice with it. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love it. Love that New Yorker voice.
Thanks.
All right, man. Appreciate you being here. And everybody else, share it out to someone you know that can use a little pick me up. B-Cide, he'll do it for you. And he's going to let us know when this concert is going so we can get on Zoom with him and watch it. So, all right, B-Cide, appreciate it, buddy. Everybody else, I'm Dr. James Perdue, the professor of perseverance. Do something today, tomorrow, something next week that's going to help you persevere past your paralysis.